Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
With just a few days over a week left in Trump's presidency, House Democrats are preparing to introduce a resolution tomorrow accusing the president of willfully inciting violence against the government. The city of Rockford takes action after tensions escalate between city workers and protesters outside of City Hall. We'll update you on arrests that were made. If you think pulling off a surprise party is hard, be prepared to take notes. This family shares how their dad was able to get his degree and keep it a secret for 4 years. Good evening, I'm Alexis Carpello. Thanks for joining us tonight. Rockford Public Works, along with several police officers, removed the tents that protesters had set up outside of City Hall. The group of protesters had occupied a space at City Hall since October. The city says protesters recently began harassing, intimidating, and threatening employees and private contractors coming in and out of City Hall, to even preventing one from being able to leave the parking lot. The city also says last week they followed and verbally harassed employees that were picking up trash left by the protesters. One arrest was made. Rockford's Mayor Tom McNamara shares this statement saying, quote, "I respect the right of protest, but verbal attacks being aimed at city employees is unacceptable." He further wrote, quote, "I must create an environment where city employees, contractors, and the public feel safe to come to work and conduct business at City Hall." Well, President Trump could be the first U.S. president impeached twice. Democrats have drafted one article of impeachment, but may wait to send that article to the Senate after President-elect Joe Biden's first 100 days in office. Faith Abube is keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
With just 10 days left in office, President Trump is facing a second impeachment.
You'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength and you have to be strong.
House Democrats drawing up one article of impeachment, accusing the president of, quote, willfully inciting violence against the government, but they could delay sending it to the Senate for trial.
Let's give President-elect Biden the 100 days he needs to get this agenda off and running, and maybe we'll send the articles sometimes after that.
More than 200 Democrats support impeachment, some saying one priority is to prevent Donald Trump from ever holding office again.
So if we allow insurrection against the United States with impunity, with no accountability, we are inviting it to happen again.
But a group of several Republican lawmakers and other allies were asking President-elect Joe Biden to put a stop to any efforts to impeach the president, saying it is, quote, as unnecessary as it is inflammatory.
Tell them, stand down. This will destroy the country even further. You have the power to do that. The question is, do you have the courage to do it?
According to an ABC News Ipsos poll, 2/3 of Americans say President Trump shoulders much of the blame for Wednesday's Capitol riot. 56% believe he should be removed from office, while 43% say he should not. But Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger believes impeachment victimizes President Trump.
I think the best thing for the country to heal would be for him to resign. The next best thing is the 25th Amendment.
Senator Pat Toomey joining fellow Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski in calling for the president's resignation.
I think at this point, with just a few days left, it's the best path forward, the best way to get this person in the rearview mirror for us. That could happen immediately.
Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington, D.C.
Security is now being stepped up ahead of the January 20th inauguration of President-elect Joe Biden. 6,200 guards, men and women deployed from across 6 states and D.C. are already working to secure the perimeter around the Capitol building. A woman was shot while driving this afternoon in Rockford. It happened on Rockton Avenue near Mercy House Hospital. Police say the woman was taken to a local hospital. She's being treated for non-life-threatening injuries. We'll provide more details of the shooting when they're made available on mystateline.com. More than 4,000 cases of COVID confirmed today, with an additional 81 people losing their life to the virus. These were no local deaths reported today. In the past 24 hours statewide, 740 patients are checked into the ICU. The weekly statewide test positivity sits at 9.1%. In our region, Region 1, every county's positivity rate is down besides Boone and Lee counties, but not by much. Boone sitting at 15.7. It was at 15.5 yesterday. Lee is the lowest average, even though it was slightly went up today, now sitting at 3.2%. Winnebago County is down to 11.3%. The next health department update will be on Wednesday. Overall, the entire region's positivity rate dropped to 10.1%. Garbage alley collection will resume this week for alleys that are serviceable in Rockford. Right now, the city says ice is still making it difficult in many alleys. There may be delays in those where conditions haven't improved yet. The city tells us those who are impacted can continue to place garbage curbside. We'll also post on our website a link for updates with the Rock River disposal. A McChesney Park family celebrates not one, but two graduations. One comes as a shocking surprise. Michelle Rave shares the moment this dad turned college student was able to get his biggest secret finally off his chest.
It really was just like keeping a secret for Christmas. It was just 4.5 years.
After 4 long years, Mike Levin was able to finally get his secret off his chest. But first, he shares how it all began.
June 6th, 2016, I woke up in the middle of the night just with a feeling from God that I was going back to school, I was going to go get my degree, and I was going to do it as a surprise to my family.
It wasn't something that was in Levin's plans, but he certainly had a lot of motivation surrounding him.
And the time that we've done this, my son graduated with his degree, my daughter graduated, my wife graduated, she got her CFP, my son got married. There's been lots of life events that have happened along the way.
He enrolled into Grand Canyon University, the same school his daughter was attending, making the secret even harder to keep.
It was not easy to conceal, but it was easy to play off that I was just working on a spreadsheet for work, not some random calculation for a accounting class.
And after a family get-together to celebrate his daughter's graduation, he decided it would be perfect timing for the big reveal.
So I had my cap and gown there and my diploma, so I came walking out and I go, I guess this is probably why I have an alumni t-shirt. And the confusion was a lot of fun to watch.
I was like shocked. So when I saw the diploma, it took me a second and I was like, wait a second, that's his name, he's wearing a cap and gown, and then I just started like sobbing, just saying how proud I was of him.
Levin graduated with a 3.99 GPA and a bachelor's degree in finance and economics. He says it was all worth it.
Having all 4 of us have our 4-year degree, it's really a nice thing to share as a family.
I could not be more proud of him. And he knows that, I think.
Reporting in Rockford for your home team, I'm Michelle Rave.
7 people were shot, 4 killed after a shooting rampage that stretched from Chicago to Evanston. It started Saturday around 2:40 in the afternoon. Police say a person entered an apartment building near Lakeshore Drive, asked to use the phone before opening fire. One woman was struck in the face, another in the chest. That woman died. Blocks away, a University of Chicago student was shot and killed in a parking garage. Evanston police later responded to a call about a man with a gun in a CVS. When police arrived, the suspect ran across the street to an IHOP. That's where police say he shot a woman that he took hostage. She's listed as in critical condition. Authorities say the man led them on a police chase, exchanging gunfire, and the suspect was fatally shot. Investigators have yet to release the names of the victims and suspect. Well, later on in sports, David Greenberg has an update on the Bears playoff game that's going on right now. Plus, if you're missing the sun, we'll find out if there's going to be any chance to see it next week. Candice will share more in her full forecast next. You're watching Eyewitness News at 5.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
Things have been pretty quiet but cloudy for us this afternoon, and unlike yesterday when we were able to see a couple of breaks in some of the cloud cover and actually get some sunshine, we've been socked in the cloud cover for this afternoon. A live look with our Mercy House SkyTrack camera overlooking the Rockford area to the east now this evening. We've had the cloud cover, and you might have noticed some of the fog and kind of the clouds lowering just a bit as we try to pull in just a bit more moisture with us this evening. That's kind of what is helping to keep a lot of that cloud cover in play. Now, 1 or 2 flurries flew from the sky earlier this afternoon, but we have been mainly dry because we've got quite a bit of dry air in place locally. Where the areas that are seeing the snow, you have to go a little bit further down to the south. But we've got this weak disturbance kind of rolling in for us this evening. This will pass. Behind it, there is some drier air. But unfortunately, with that drier air, that is going to allow some of that cloud cover to kind of linger and stick around just a bit. So that's going to leave us with that cloudy sky, and with an increase in moisture, we might be able to see some fog redevelop. Do not think it is going to be quite as dense as what it was last week, but still that cloudy, foggy pattern staying with us into early this next week. As far as the snow, that has been flying down around the Texas area, central, northeast Texas, where they've had several inches of snow come down with an area of low pressure just off the coast. In fact, our camera down just north of Austin, Texas, shows a very snowy scene for a lot of folks down there as the snow-covered roads continues. There have been some issues down south with some slushy-filled roads. For us, our roads are going to be okay. In fact, we don't have to be too concerned with really any of that slick conditions here as we go through the morning hours. Just watch out for some of that fog. Temperature-wise, our numbers now at 22 in Freeport, 26 in Rockford, 22 in Belvedere. We've held on to a breeze this afternoon, so that's actually kept that wind chill factor down just a bit. As I mentioned, it's the clouds and the fog that are going to stay with us these next couple of days. We get a little bump in that temperature midweek, but some changes coming up here by the end of the week. So let's go through time with Futurecast. We've got the cloud cover and the fog that stays with us through the morning hours tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies again expected for tomorrow afternoon, and then we see some fog kind of settle back in along with that cloud cover Monday going into Tuesday. But there is a warm front that comes in mid to late week, which will bring our temperatures up in response to some very strong winds coming in here in the jet stream. That'll help induce an area of low pressure system will bring us our next chance for a little rain and snow, but on the back side of that, our temperatures are really going to take a tumble. In fact, we see that colder air spill down across a good chunk of the country by the middle to end of next week. So 22 degrees, that's where we head for tonight. Cloudy skies, patchy haze and fog. Our windows stay light here as we go through the night tonight, up to 29 for tomorrow afternoon. Morning clouds and fog. Winds are going to increase late, gusting up to 20 miles per hour. Temperatures then mid-30s by the end of the week, but Alexis, we see those numbers drop into the 20s by the end of the week.
Now the Mapleton Sports Desk with David Greenberg.
The Chicago Bears and New Orleans Saints are underway. Bears closed at 10.5-point underdogs prior to kickoff. I want to lead off with this because in terms of sports, it is definitely the most important thing going on today in the area. It's a tight one at the break. Make sure to tune back in tonight. I'll have all the highlights from this one and bring you post-game coverage from what we hope is a very happy Chicago Bears team. The first game from today's action came out in Nashville between the Titans and the Ravens. Tennessee got off to a great start here with an early touchdown to A.J. Brown. Titans up 7-0. The Ravens fell down 10-0 early, but Lamar Jackson never backed down, taking the snap and breaking free in a foot race down the sideline, 48 yards to the house. That ties it up at 10-all. Jackson was phenomenal the rest of the way after a bad early interception. The second half, Ravens inside the 5. Handoff goes to J.K. Dobbins. He follows his blockers and gets in for the score. Ravens up 20-13. Final drive for the Titans. 2nd and 5. Tannehill fires over the middle. His receiver slips, and it's picked off by Marcus Peters. The Ravens complete the comeback and get their revenge on the Tennessee Titans. We're just over 24 hours away from the final game of the college football season when number 1 Alabama plays number 3 Ohio State for the national championship tomorrow night. The Tide are no joke. They've got award winners for the best quarterback, running back, interior lineman, and wide receiver in the country. And by the way, that receiver was also voted the best player in all of college football this season. Bama has been without their other stud wideout, Jalen Waddle, for a majority of the season, but he's a game-time decision for tomorrow. Alabama's 8.5-point favorites over the Buckeyes, but I fully expect this one to be much closer. Kickoff from Hard Rock Stadium in Miami set for 7 p.m. Both head coach Ryan Day and Nick Saban met with the media all week leading up to this one.
I know this has been a challenging year for all teams in college football, and I think there's a lot of folks out there that we need to thank for making the season be what it is.
Our team has been on a journey just like so many other teams this year, and they've learned a lot about what it means to overcome adversity, and it wasn't always as clean as the typical year.
Rockford Auburn graduate Vidarian Lowe has dreams of playing in the NFL. He recently finished up his senior season with the Fighting Illini. But because of COVID-19, the NCAA is allowing all college athletes an extra year of eligibility. Lowe has taken advantage of that, giving him a 5th season starting at offensive tackle for the Illini next season. This morning, he told our Scott Leber about what went into that decision.
I just knew deep down, if I, just gave a little bit more to the game that, I could put myself in a better position, and ultimately, it'll be better for me in the future. So I decided that, me using the extra year, it'll benefit me more than, me leaving right now.
Scott will have much more with Lowe tomorrow, including his thoughts on new Illini head coach Brett Bielema. You won't want to miss that. That's it for sports. We'll be right back.
Our first Warn Interactive radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. We've got the cloud cover. Clouds kind of lowering a bit, and you'll notice that by a bit more haze showing up here this evening. Now, well, we won't see quite the extensive amount of fog like we did early last week. Likely going to see some fog develop for the night tonight and throughout the day tomorrow. And those clouds, unfortunately, they are going to be sticking around too as we kick off this next week. Down to 22 tonight, only up to 29 tomorrow afternoon. Winds are going to pick up later in the day from the west and southwest. This will bring our temperatures back up above freezing into the mid-30s by the middle of the week, the low 20s by the end of the week.
Well, that's our show. Thanks for joining your home team. We'll see you at 10.